Okay, intros.
I have the intro line already prepared. The first time I say it, you're probably gonna laugh and have to re-record it, but I'm still gonna do it.
Hey, we might want to leave that in. Proceed.
This week on Dedicated Discussions, Dan and I flew to San Diego Comic-Con, and boy are we tired. And so are our arms.
Really? That was your big intro?
It's San Diego Comic-Con 2014. I'm Jeremy.
I'm Dan.
And this is the Dedicated server.
Oh God, Jeremy.
That's perfect. Leave it. It's perfect.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Dedicated server. I am Dan.
And I'm Jeremy.
And today is our special San Diego episode.
Yeah, you get prepared, people. We're gonna sleepwalk through this one. We're both still pretty tired.
Yeah. We've been back for what? 4? I lost count how many days we've been back for.
It doesn't feel like any because I've worked every day since I got back.
Yes. Long story short, San Diego was a crazy experience.
Yes, it was. It was both of our first time there.
We thought we'd have like one night to sit in a hotel room and just talk about what we were seeing there, and
Not so much.
no.
It doesn't help that Dan's computer kept blue screening the whole time we were there.
Not at all. Little tip for everyone, if you're ever at a place you don't know and you're connecting to the Wi-Fi, and this is the one and only place your computer blue screens, do not connect to the goddamn Wi-Fi.
Nope. Because then you won't be able to do anything and you'll get sad.
Moving along. How was your San Diego, other than exhausting?
It was pretty awesome, I'm not gonna lie. Lots of Star Wars goodness. But also a lot of video game goodness.
Yes. I was a little bit disappointed with some of the big companies with what they brought.
Well, I mean, they brought some of their bigger titles with them. We were able to get hands-on with quite a few titles as well, but
yes.
Overall, yeah, I mean, but coming off E3, like 6 weeks earlier,
and Gamescom is coming very shortly.
Yeah, it's not really the show for games. It's just for them to kind of peddle their wares and give people free T-shirts and let them get hands-on with stuff.
Which was exactly what freaking Capcom did.
Yes, Capcom.
Their entire panel was, hey, buy everything we have downstairs on the floor.
And also, I hope you like Street Fighter, because that's pretty much all we make, is Street Fighter games.
Yes.
And different
to be fair,
variations
they did
of
at least
Street Fighter.
mention the new Monster Hunter with, like, the new class, and that's it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I dozed off right there where you were just talking. Who cares? I don't care about that. You know what I wanted to see? I wanted to see a big black screen with narration and a Resident Evil logo pop up on the screen. That would have been exciting. Not the 75th different version of whatever the last Street Fighter game was that I didn't play.
They started taking words away from it now.
But anyway, Capcom was disappointing. We were both pretty bummed with that. You know what? I had no plans on going to the Blizzard panel, and I ended up having to get in that room so I could be in the room later for the Star Wars Rebels panel. That was an atrocious panel.
Absolutely. I was sitting there taking notes on it, and it was the shortest notes I have for the entire show.
They didn't show any. They were like, hey, we have cool toys you can buy, and hey, here's some cool card games, and where was all the Warcraft? They're leaving the questions. By the time they got the Q&A, they only had time for 2 questions?
Yeah, but here's the thing. Even with those questions, they weren't really answering them.
No.
I will be honest, though. All those people, they were pushing to being like, what's on the horizon? We can't tell you.
Well, why the hell not? When the hell else are you going to tell people? Unless it's so far off that they honestly can't tell people because they don't know, which I find hard to believe.
Well, like we said, there is Gamescom. Maybe they're planning a big release there, which I don't know, but still.
It was kind of ridiculous. When I was sitting, the guy next to me, I said, "Are you actually here for this panel?" And he said, "Yes." I was like, "Are you disappointed?" He goes, "Immensely." It was. He looked visibly pissed off. It was hilarious.
I was also kind of bumhurt by League of Legends.
Well, you can talk about that one. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't even know what that is.
all they did was talked about the process a champion goes through, which is interesting on its own, but you don't reserve an entire panel to discuss the birth to completion of a champion.
I'm starting to think that game companies, as far as San Diego Comic-Con are concerned, the companies send people there and they don't really tell them what to talk about or what to do. They're just like, the booth's gonna have the game, just go up in front of those people and talk about, I don't know, whatever for an hour, and then we could say we had a panel and get people on Twitter excited, and then everybody will get a t-shirt or a poster or a keychain, and everybody will buy the crew.
Well, to be honest, those are some of the best parts of the convention for video games.
But I don't want to talk, let's not talk about, we can come back to the other couple panels that you went to that I did not attend. Let's talk about some of the games that we got our hands on.
Right, well, the first one we tried, which I was happy, it's as good as it is.
What would that be? Oh yeah, the crew. We waited in line for how long? What would you say, like an hour, hour and a half?
Not even that long, probably like 45 minutes.
Well, I didn't wait as long because I jumped on a controller to play it, since that's probably what I'll be doing at home.
Yeah. How was the controller?
The controller was great. They were a little touchy. Steering was interesting.
It fought back.
It did, and it was a little touchy. You barely have to move the stick to get the car to turn. It's a little touchy.
Really, that was a bit of a different experience than I had, because I was in the chair. You really had to fight with the steering wheel the entire time, and it had the force feedback, and it was fighting against you to make these turns.
Yeah. As far as the gameplay, it looked gorgeous. They unfortunately would not let you drive from Florida to Ohio, but since they wouldn't let you drive all the way to Ohio, they let you play 2 game modes on the controller. I don't know if it was the same in the chair. Mm-hmm. There was a mode where you had to chase. There was 3 people, and they all had to chase one guy and try to wreck his car.
Yes, that was like, I believe they called it a raid.
And then the other mode was just a straight race to a destination. I lost to a literal 9-year-old. Literally a 9-year-old.
I lost in the final stretch. Like the entire beginning of the race, I was a wreck disaster. Then when I figured out the whole drifting, I made it to the front. I saw the finish line. I spun out right before I got there.
I didn't even get that far. When the race first started, I was doing okay, and then the touchy controls, I jammed on the joystick too hard into a turn, and I ended up spinning around like 8 times into a barricade. But I recovered, and I didn't finish the race. But at the same time, I got a cool keychain, so
yay!
I was way more impressed with it than I thought I would be. I have to eat some words from one of our earlier podcasts. I think it was the E3 one, where I said it would be a boring game. It actually was kind of exciting. I'm excited to do a cross-country trip and see what that's like without the load screens. Although the booth babes didn't have any idea what I was talking about.
Yeah, like I tried poking them for answers to questions I had, and they're like, I don't know anything. What? What is that?
This is the crew. That was a real answer that I got to one of my questions. And then I was like, oh, okay. And that game impressed me more than I thought it would, so I may be in on that one.
Well, now let's talk about the one that you were really excited to play.
Ah, yes. We waited in line for, 2.5 hours? About 2.5 hours.
We played it was at least 2 hours.
We played the crew on preview night, and then we played Alien Isolation on Sunday. Folks, we played the game inside an alien egg. We sat in the egg to play the game. It was ridiculous.
So, I figured the best way to do this is to recount our individual experiences. You can go first because yours was a bit more laughable.
Yes. I am beyond terrible at first-person shooters. I just can't work them. The only one I've ever been able to work is Destiny, and I've barely played that. So, knowing that, I was still excited. I'm a huge Alien fan. I got into the egg. I was all excited. Now, keep in mind, they had a video screen that showed everybody out in the aisleway what you looked like while you were playing and the screen. So everybody got to see me looking straight up and running into the wall and
Forgetting your flamethrower.
I did. It was very vital. The person in line told me over and over again, pick up your flamethrower. What did I do? I picked up the gel and the flashlight and everything else and left the flamethrower and went on my merry way.
You brought the freaking candy bar.
I did bring the candy bar. Hey, yeah, you gotta eat. What if it was a Snickers? It's like a meal. Anyway, I died epically, like what, 4 times? I died at least 4 times. It's a very difficult game. The controls are actually pretty decent for a first-person shooter, coming from somebody who doesn't play them. I enjoyed myself. It's actually a really moody, atmospheric, scary game. In the 3 minutes that we only got to play for 3 minutes. It was very cool. I enjoyed it, and I'm definitely in on that game. Even though I'm gonna suck at it, and it's gonna take me forever to beat it.
Well, while Jeremy was in line, or actually in the pod, and I was waiting for my turn next, the little woman in charge of the booth in the game, she came up to me and was giving me pro tips while you were in there dying.
Oh, really?
Yes, I am sorry.
She's like, don't do what he's doing.
Exactly.
If you run into that room with no outlet and you get stuck moving against the wall and you can't turn around, you will die.
So pretty much I took what I learned from watching you, and I got pretty goddamn far.
Yeah?
Well, my first time I went through, he kind of caught me from one of those vents from the top.
Yeah, it seemed like a lot of people were dying.
Yeah, almost everyone was dying from that. Then the second time I was like, okay, I got this. I crouched, I slowly went forward. I heard him, watched my motion tracker, come up behind me, all of a sudden, bam, flamethrower. I took off running. Few flame blasts behind me, etc., etc. And then I ran out of ammo, halfway through, watched my motion tracker, trying to reload. It was at this point I forgot the gel. I forgot to pick up the extra canister of gel to reload the flamethrower.
See, I brought the gel.
Yes. I saw the exit, I went running, then the woman opened the door to say my time's up, and I looked back at the screen just in time to see the alien eat me.
Oh, that's too bad.
I was so close. It was right there.
Why don't you tell the people at home how many people actually beat the 3-minute level?
Well, at San Diego?
In general.
Oh, in general? How many was that E3? I forgot.
E3 was 5 out of 3,000.
Okay, so 5 out of 3,000 in E3. After San Diego, it was still 5 out of 3,000. Or however many played at San Diego.
They said 2,500 people were going to expect to play at the booth. So out of 5,500 people combined from E3 and San Diego Comic-Con, 5 people beat it.
I will say this. If I went through again, I feel pretty confident I could do it, knowing what to expect now. As for the game itself, oh my god. Oh my god. Originally, watching the Alien trilogy, it never really scared me. Kind of felt like there was an element missing that I just wasn't getting as I was watching it. Yes, it was very iconic to me and all that, but it's just like the tension wasn't there for me. This game brought that tension to life for me.
I can't add anything to that. Everybody go pre-order it, because if you pre-order it, you also get the original crew with the original voice cast for bonus missions. So just go get it. Don't even think about it. Just go buy the damn game. Now, Dan, you got to go hands-on with something I didn't get to do because I was doing too much Star Wars stuff.
Yes.
Why don't you tell everybody about Evolve?
Yes. Well, long story short, this was my favorite part of San Diego, actually.
Wow, really? Favorite part?
Yes. Well, yeah, my favorite part during the convention.
Okay.
We'll talk about the late night partying stuff later. But I was absolutely blown away.
Wow. Did you get to play as the monster?
No, I didn't want to play as the monster.
Oh, you didn't want to play as the monster.
Yes.
See, that's the only thing I want to do is to play as the monster.
I chose to play as the medic because that's generally what I play in first-person shooters with classes. And oh my god, I was expecting another like Left 4 Dead where you're just fighting a big monster rather than a zombie horde.
Okay.
But no.
Not at all.
No. Huh? You get dropped off. Each character is completely unique, with A, their witty one-liners, and B, their skills and roles that they have. For instance, my medic was not a classic medic. There was no healing gun. I had an emergency button I could press to heal everyone around me real fast, but I had to actually spend my entire time reviving people rather than healing them.
Interesting.
Yes. But my favorite part about Evolve was the hunt. You have no idea where this giant monster is. And the first 2 to 3 minutes of gameplay is you and these 3 other hunters tracking this beast down. And that alone brought the experience to a whole nother level for me.
Awesome. So, will you buy an Xbox to play Evolve?
I don't need to buy an Xbox to play Evolve.
Why is that?
It's available for PS4 and PC. Or it's
It
going to
is?
be. Yep.
When did they announce that?
Oh, it's been that way.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's been that way.
Huh.
Check their website.
Just so everybody knows, I am Jeremy, and I am a co-host of this video games podcast, and I know everything about all the news that happens. I got to go hands-on with something you didn't do.
Oh, which one?
Super Smash Bros. 3DS.
I wasn't too excited about that because every Smash Brothers game is the same to me in my eyes.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same, but it was still cool to play. I like Smash Brothers. My little brother likes Smash Brothers a lot more than I do. He actually won a Smash Brothers tournament a couple times. But I like Smash Brothers better on a big screen. I right away, that's the first thing I noticed. I was like, you know what? I don't like playing on the 2 screens with DS. I don't like this. As I was playing, it got a little bit better. They wouldn't let me be Yoshi.
Why not?
Jerk faces. You had to be Mario or Kirby in on the system I got. Now on other systems, I saw other people playing as like Link and stuff like that, but I got stuck with Mario or Kirby. Do you know who I picked?
Kirby.
Hell yeah, because Kirby is my guy. I've always liked Kirby. Kirby's right here with me, man. Right here in my heart. I love Kirby. I got my ass handed to me.
I take it Yoshi is your favorite Smash Brothers character, though?
Yoshi is my favorite anything in any Mario game.
Okay.
Give me Yoshi and Mario Kart and you will lose. Doesn't matter what track it is, doesn't matter. Anyway, I'm not here to talk about Mario Kart. Smash Brothers for 3DS. If you like the 3DS, if you like Smash Brothers, you'll like it. If you like seeing the graphics from Smash Brothers, because I will say this, the graphics are stunning.
Oh yeah, the portable gaming has come to that level.
Amazing. But the only thing I could think the whole time was, I want to see this on my screen at home, on my my television screen with my Wii U and my tablet controller and all that stuff. I don't want to see it on this small screen because it's too pretty. So, my suggestion would be, buy it for Wii U, if you actually own a Wii U. And if you do own a Wii U, I'm sorry.
You know I'm getting a Wii U sometime next year, right?
Yeah, I know, I probably will too, but it's just fun to say.
Alright. What was your favorite... did you go to any of the video game panels other than the one you went with me?
Well, we went to a cool one called Console Wars.
It was cool, but that's kind of all it was to me.
But that's all it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
It was a fun panel about the old console wars between Nintendo and Sega. There's a book about it. They're making a movie out of it, produced in I think Seth Rogen's is going to be in it, but I know he's producing and co-writing it.
Yes.
But it was pretty interesting. Some of that guy used to run Sega. I don't remember his name. The guy that used to run Sega that was on the panel. That guy was a trip, man. He was convinced still that they could beat Nintendo now.
That is a chore. Well, I mean, not as much as it used to be, I guess.
Yeah, and they had some good points about how that old Nintendo Sega battle has transferred now to Xbox and PlayStation, and it doesn't need to. That was the thing I took most away from the panel. They all agreed that while it was fun, while it was happening, they should have just, everybody likes to play games, and you're gonna play on whatever system you like, play whatever system you like, and let's all just be friends. That's what they should do.
What I took away from the panel was how close we were to not having a Sonic.
That is also very true. That was crazy.
Yeah, basically the executive vice president of Sega gave this guy a choice between two mascots. One was an egg-like creature, and one was Sonic.
I mean, I guess you could say the egg-like creature turned into Dr. Robotnik, right?
I guess you could. I mean,
kind
depends on
of
how this egg-like creature looked like. But basically, he only chose Sonic because it was the lesser of two evils.
And the rest is history.
Yeah.
So, okay, Dan. Out of everything you saw at San Diego Comic-Con, all the 5 days that we were there in the convention center, outside the convention center, parties, Knights of the Old Republic, woo!
That was fun.
That was fun. Okay, Knights of the Old Republic party, Evolve, the crew, Alien. What was the best thing video game wise for you at San Diego Comic-Con?
Video game wise, the most fulfilling, well, the most fun.
At that, overall, what is the best video game thing you did at San Diego Comic-Con?
Okay, Evolve is a very, very close second, but it's going to have to be the Mass Effect panel I went to.
Ah, you mean the panel that you weren't going to get into, and I implored you to go tell them you worked for Bleeding Cool.
That was the plan, but I needed Madeline's cute puppy dog eyes to get me in.
I'm going to take partial credit at least, because you looked defeated until I sent you over there.
I was going to be defeated no matter what until I went over there.
Let me have credit. Anyway, the floor is yours. Mass Effect.
Okay, well, basically, only 40 people got into this freaking panel to start with.
Well, that's because everybody was in the room for Doctor Who afterwards, but anyway. Which I was at, even though I don't like Doctor Who. Yeah, I said it. Doctor Who sucks.
You are a dirty, dirty man. If I had
No,
my
it
sonic screwdriver
doesn't
right now.
suck. I'm just kidding, everybody. Before you start bombarding me on Twitter, it doesn't suck. It's just not for me. Anyway, Mass Effect.
Mass Effect, with how little they showed, the sheer excitement they brought from this room was amazing.
Yeah,
Okay.
I could hear it. I was waiting to get into I had to cover the Hasbro Marvel panel, and I could hear everybody in the room like freaking out.
Pretty much, only things they showed was, number one, they showed the new character models and new armor type that you have.
Mm-hmm.
No face, because they don't have the face of the hero yet. And they showed the new makeup, which everyone went crazy about. It's fantastic. Sadly, though, no Commander Shepard, which I feel is a good thing. If it was another...
His story kind of finished, didn't it?
Yeah. If you brought him back, it would have just been drug out.
Fan service.
Yeah, exactly. They're doing this to expand the universe as a whole. You're out on the far reaches, uncharted areas of space exploring. You have new types of armor. You're less combative from what it looks like. And just the sheer excitement we got from everyone.
Was that little bit enough to hold you over until this game comes out? Because it's probably going to be a while.
Yes, actually it was.
Okay, so you're good.
Because, okay, everyone knows about the bad reception to Mass Effect 3. It was a disaster. I kind of feel like they're not going to go, and they're going to leave it a bit more open than Mass Effect 3 was. They're going for the story more than anything else and the experience, which is important to me. All they were saying the entire time was customization, customization, customization.
Very cool. I would have thought that talking to Kevin Conroy and John DiMaggio was your favorite part of San Diego Comic-Con.
It was close, but the fact that I didn't get to talk to freaking Troy Baker kind of killed the experience for me.
It happens. I, on the other hand, got to meet most of my Star Wars heroes, and it was awesome. Shout out to Justin Bolger. Awesome. Awesome guy.
Okay, who's your favorite person to talk to at San Diego? To meet?
That I met?
Yes.
Oh, jeez. It's gonna
or
be
give me like your top 3, because I know it's a bit tough.
Top 3? Oh, God. Well, they're all probably gonna be Star Wars related. Is that okay?
Really? All of them?
The only video game people I talked to really were all the booth babes.
Well, let's not talk about video game
companies.
people. Because I think there's one person that should be up in your top 3. Because I know he's up in my top 3.
Joe Glass. You're right. Joe Glass, class act, everybody. Go read The Pride.
Yes, a few days ago it was number 25 on Comixology.
And we're very proud of you, man.
Yes.
Top 3 people I talked to at San Diego. I did meet John Constantine. That was exciting.
Yes.
So that would be up there. Since I'm a huge, massive Constantine fan, and I thought they were going to ruin that show just by making it, he filled me with a little bit more confidence. I got to meet Dave Filoni, who is one of the heads of Star Wars now for Lucasfilm. He runs the animation department, including executive producer on Star Wars, The Clone Wars, and Rebels. That was pretty exciting. I think what Dan is trying to say is we were all fortunate enough to have a ever so brief but amazing conversation with Batman writer Scott Snyder.
Yes.
I got to tell him that I loved his novel that he wrote that I read way before he was ever a writer on Batman. I got to tell him how much I appreciated his work on Batman, especially, spoiler alert, his last scene in issue 33. The Alfred scene at the end was the most beautifully written Alfred scene that has ever existed on paper. And I got to tell him that, and we gave each other parenting advice, and it was fantastic. Who were your top 3 people you met?
Well, top 3.
I also met CM Punk, and it was awesome, and you guys should all be jealous.
Honorable mention, okay.
Yeah. Not an honorable mention, it was very brief. But awesome.
Let's see, top 3 people. Scott Snyder. I mean, yes. As you know. Kevin Conroy. I got all giddy while at the roundtable interview with him because you can hear Batman in his voice as he talks. And third, I would that's a bit of a tough one for me because I didn't spend as much time socializing as you at the bars. I'd have to say, actually,
you make me sound like a lush. What? I barely drank while we were there.
The night where Jeremy met everyone, I wasn't feeling well, and I called in early night.
You sure did. I'm gonna do it. You ready?
What?
Shoulda hung out, man. You shoulda hung out.
I guess that puts number 3 at Amy Nichols, who I never read any of her stuff before I met her, but meeting her, she was such an awesome person. I was like, I need your book.
And we got a copy. And shout out to Amy as well. She was like the coolest person ever. She hooked me and my friend Pete up with tickets to see the Nerdist live podcast recording with CM Punk, mostly because she didn't know who the hell that was. But I digress. She was super cool. really down to earth. Her book's coming out in December. We'll have a picture of it up, I'm sure.
Yes.
That you can
I'll
look
put
at while
one
we're
up.
talking about it.
Just give me more work, Jeremy. Just give me more work.
Of course. It's the San Diego episode. We gotta blow it out, man.
I am not going to sleep tonight.
Nope. And I am, because I am exhausted.
Jerk.
Well, pretty much that. I guess that covers it. I mean...
Oh, I did go to a few panels you didn't. And I'm going to say this. We did say about how video games didn't bring enough. Halo and Witcher 3, they got their shit together.
Okay. Explain.
Okay. Let's start with Witcher 3. I saw 30 minutes of unreleased gameplay footage. Freaking awesome. The combat is intense and fast-paced. The story doesn't feel like it's dragging, or at least the part they showed us. And I know it's the next big thing in big open-world games, but the choices you make affect the world around you, and not just different story plots later on. Like, the environment will change based off your choices, etc. And I feel like it has that little bit of detail that the whole your choices affect your decisions, or your decisions affect just your world around you thing was missing.
Okay. After seeing, I did look at some of the presentation after the fact, since I wasn't there. I was kind of impressed. I'm more interested in The Witcher than I was previously.
Yes, I wasn't really looking at it because Witcher 2 was a really good game, but it didn't do it for me. Now Witcher 3 looks like it's going to.
Okay. And Halo, even though it's Halo, and I don't want to talk about Halo.
I'm not the biggest Halo fan, but I recognize it for what it is.
Yeah.
And for what it is a very good game, or at least earlier on in the series. And oh my god, what they're doing with Halo 2.
Does it look good?
It looks like a multi-million-dollar movie.
Really?
Yes.
Wow. Even though most people are probably gonna play it on the original graphics.
I'm not.
They have to be afraid of that, right? They're gonna put all this money in it, and people are like, "Looks good for an 8-bit game on a PlayStation 4." Oh, I went there.
They won't care. People will have their money, but like, oh my god! Like, I wonder how I was okay with the original Halo 2 graphics now. And
wow.
They gave us a trailer for Halo Nightfall, which looks a lot better than anything else they've done for Halo in terms of live action before.
Cool. I am gonna go play it with somebody who has Xbox One, because I'm not gonna buy one.
It's probably gonna be me.
Yeah, probably. Okay, does that wrap it up?
I think
is there
that
anything
wraps it
else
up.
you want to talk about?
I don't. I wish I could.
Dude, seriously, I'm so tired still.
As am I, but
I mean, I could talk about Star Wars if you want. I've got oodles and oodles
okay, let's
and
be
oodles of
perfectly
Star
honest.
Wars
We could talk about San Diego for hours, but we need to. If we want this video to be somewhat manageable for people to watch, this has to be it.
Okay, maybe we'll do a part 2. Not really ever. We're not going to do that.
Well, that's about all we have for you. Otherwise, we're never going to shut up about San Diego.
And Dan wouldn't let me talk about Star Wars. So make sure you click subscribe down below.
Don't forget to like our Facebook page. And who knows, if Jeremy really wants to talk Star Wars enough, maybe we'll have a Star Wars podcast on this channel too.
Yeah, that's going to happen. It is. And if you want to talk about video games or Star Wars with me anytime you want, you can find me on Twitter at JeremyOhio.
Or me at Radical Dan with 2 N's.
Until then, I'm Jeremy.
I'm Dan.
And this is the Dedicated Server.